video that I'm going to be reviewing today. It's a 10-minute video. It's by puppetgovdotcom, which is a great website if you haven't visited it. They posted a 10-minute video. I'm going to play you a couple of minutes of it. Most of it is, fair use stuff that they've thrown together in a compilation anyway. So here's a couple of minutes of that, and then I'll go ahead and rate it. And I have a couple of other things I'd like to play, and maybe a question or two to ask at the end of this video. But enjoy it. Here it is by PuppetGov, and it's called American Warning.
George Walker Bush, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
I'm not too sure what he thought he was swearing to when he took the oath of office to uphold the Constitution and our laws.
Ask yourself this: if you are pulled off the street tomorrow and they call you an alien or an undocumented immigrant or an unlawful enemy combatant, exactly how are you going to convince them to give you a court hearing to prove you are not?
The bigger this war gets, the more freedoms we lose. It's time to stop submitting to this tyranny. It's time to realize that we're being enslaved. Uh-oh, it's our tax dollars at work to protect us from ourselves. Hey guys, I used to be one of you. Stop selling out your own species!
The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it.
He believes that he has the inherent authority to violate federal law.
Cooperation may depend largely on how long they expect a suspension of their rights might last. Jeff Farrell, KSLA News 12 reports.
You feel America is going to be under some martial law pressure as soon as we get attacked again? Is that correct?
The Homeland Security Committee in Congress, with the highest level security clearances, are not allowed to see the details of PDD 51 signed May 9th of this year that literally makes the president a dictator. And last year, the president funded the John Warner Defense Authorization Act for domestic oppression of the American people. It actually says that it is for domestic insurrection and rebellion. This has nothing to do with terror. This is the military-industrial complex waging war on the people.
These changes pose a threat to the survival of our republic by giving the president the power to declare martial law for as little reason as to restore public order. The 1807 Act severely restricted the president in his use of the military within the United States borders, and the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 strengthened these restrictions with strict oversight by Congress. The new law allows the president to circumvent the restrictions of both laws. The Insurrection Act has now become the, quote, Enforcement of the Laws to Restore Public Order Act, close quote. This is hardly a title that suggests that the authors cared about or understood the nature of a constitutional republic. Before the war in the Middle East spreads and becomes a world conflict for which we'll be held responsible, or the liberties of all Americans become so suppressed we can no longer resist, much has to be done. Time is short, but our course of action should be clear. Each of us must choose which course of action we should take: education, conventional political action, or even peaceful civil disobedience to bring about necessary changes. But let it not be said that we did nothing.
Okay, we're back, and I think everyone ought to ask him or herself, if you want our government, our president, the executive branch, to be able to suspend habeas corpus when the Constitution clearly says it will not be suspended unless there's an invasion or a rebellion. He didn't just suspend it, he nullified it, right? He repealed it. He didn't say, if such and such happens or at such and such a time, you're going to get habeas corpus back. He said anybody that I call an illegal or an unlawful enemy combatant no longer has the right of habeas corpus. Now, clearly it's a violation of constitutional law. The man is a criminal. But what are you going to do about it? Regarding camps, the FEMA camps, that was another point that was brought up in the Web Pundit video, was Ron Paul is unelectable because he's against FEMA. Really, you have to Google Rex 84, Operation Cable Splicer, and Operation Garden Plot. You have to Google these things. Every American needs to Google those things right now. Rex 84, REX 84, Operation Cable Splicer and Operation Garden Plot. If you're unaware of the activities of our government, you really need to make yourself aware. Get educated. American Warning is the Ron Paul speeches on C-SPAN that they added at the end. It's great. I love what Ron Paul says there. That alone, I'm going to give this video 4 stars, which, you know, I'm a pretty hard rater, and 4 stars is really good. You know, if it was mind-blowing, I would give it 5. But this is a really good compilation. It is worth checking out. It's American Warning here on YouTube.
Colonel North, in your work at the NSC, were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster? Mr. Chairman.
I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir.
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was,
may I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
It's stunning how easily the Cold War enticed us into surrendering popular control of government to the national security state. We've never come closer to bestowing absolute authority on the president. Setting up White House groups that secretly decide to fight dirty little wars is a direct assumption of the war powers expressly forbidden by the Constitution. We've turned the war powers of the United States over to where we're never really sure who, or what they're doing, or what it costs, or who is paying for it. The one thing we are sure of is that this largely secret global war, carried on with less and less accountability to democratic institutions, has become a way of life. The men who wrote our Constitution, our basic book of rules, were concerned that power be held accountable. No party of government and no person in government, not even the president, was to pick or choose among the laws to be obeyed. But how does one branch of government blow the whistle on another? Or how do the people cry foul when their liberties are imperiled if public officials can break the rules, lie to us about it, and then wave the wand of national security to silence us? Can it happen again? You bet it can. The apparatus of secret power remains intact. This is a system easily corrupted as the public grows indifferent again and the press is seduced or distracted. So one day, sadly, we're likely to discover once again that while freedom does have enemies in the world, it can also be undermined here at home, in the dark, by those posing as its friends. I'm Bill Moyers. Good night.
That about does it. Once again, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming out. I'm going to be rating and critiquing a lot more videos. Please do what you can to get the word out about Ron Paul's run for the presidency. Help him win the primaries. Spread the word about what our government is doing behind our backs. And let's see if we can restore our Constitution and keep liberty alive. And thank you very much.